All right, we are back for season 2 of That's That.
And that's that.
We're back. It's great to be back. How you guys feeling? We got the podcast going again.
Feels good to be back.
Good. It's been a long day, but feeling good. Good.
I'm feeling good too. We're at the new place, new studio. We'll see how this goes. And let's get right into it. So we played Elane Casino, I think that's how you pronounce it, in Washington State. That was really fun. How'd you guys like that show? We did that epic fly-in. We flew in the day of the show, and we had to just like roll in on no sleep and play up on the rooftop. That was a fun show, though.
Yeah, the show was awesome. That came together. I feel like, I don't know, just the overnight or like some like fly-ins can be a little, you don't get any sleep on the plane whatsoever, especially if you're like hoping to sleep.
Yeah.
Other than that, when you get out there and the adrenaline going, it's good.
I feel like when we were talking to people about that show, for example, and many of the ambitious traveling we do, everyone's always like, well, why would you do that? And I feel like we have to do it. It's like you can't turn down a gig because of the logistics. In my opinion, like an opportunity is an opportunity, and if you really want to take a band to the next level, I feel like you got to take them, and it's like you got to get no sleep. And I don't know, what are your thoughts?
You can't fear exhaustion. That's just part of the job, and you have to come to accept that,
Yeah, you got to do what you need to pull off the gig. I mean, what were we going to do, not do it?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like, just as far as just like, just performing, I always just try to think to myself, what is going to be the idea of like, your best foot forward when you're performing, and getting sleep is top of the priority. Getting rest is top of the priority just for your voice alone.
Sure. But I mean, sometimes you got to do it. Like I know next week we're going to Sacramento and then the next day, which is 8 hours from where we are. And the next day we got to drive 8 hours back for another gig. And that's just another example. It's like we're doing the California State Fair. We can't turn that down.
You got to do it.
So,
I do love in those situations when you're completely exhausted and you feel it as it's coming up in the closest moments to the gig starting. And then it's just like you hear that 4 count kick in, and it's just like challenge yourself to the second it starts. You're like, okay, forget all that. I'm in this moment right now, and how do I go to 100% immediately in that moment?
Yeah.
And if you can trick your brain into that, then the energy just follows right away.
For sure. And like I said, I think there's something, a lack of sleep. You get a little delirious. You just don't know what's going on. You're on some kind of weird high of just lack of sleep. And I don't know. That's what I get anyways, but maybe it's the exact opposite. We'll have to look to the tapes. You know what I liked about playing up in Washington at the casino was that we got picked up. We got treated like royalty. We got picked up in the SUV, the black SUV. And what's crazy is that after we got picked up, the driver was like, I got to pick up Smokey Robinson right after you guys. So we made sure we left him a little treat in between the seat cracks. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, what? What did we leave
I did anyways. I left him a little love letter, but no, but it was cool. Yeah, they picked up. We were playing at the casino in Ridge.
See, why do we think of these things
Ridgefield.
at the moment? Why do we think these things? Like, why didn't we like write like some kind of letter to like directly hand given to Smokey and being like, Smokey, we love you. Can we open for you one day or something?
I think that would have turned into a paper plane on the side of the freeway.
Smokey gets the driver fired.
Blew his nose in it. It's just like going in a ball.
Anyways, it was nice. Smokey Robinson played the next day. It was cool. I guess we got to open for Smokey in some strange 24-hour capacity.
Spin that any way you want.
Yeah.
I got to open for Smokey, even though he played the following day.
You could say
it was in the same 24-hour period.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he breathed our air. Poor Smokey. Okay, moving right along. So, now that we've got 2 Insta360 cameras, and we also have the Ray-Ban Meta glasses. So we're like, I feel like we have so much content now to post. And what I've been noticing anyways is with this content, we've been getting a little bit of hate.
Getting some flack.
Specifically, that recent video we posted of me playing, and then you, Richie, you get up on the kick drum and shake, and then by accident, which was a total accident, you didn't even know it happened.
Yeah.
You kicked my cymbal, and then I happened to not have the top of the cymbal on, and it fell off. And that video, I thought that was going to get no likes, and apparently everyone's viewing it, and everyone's hating on it. So I thought we would address some of the comments right now.
You have some of the comments?
Yeah, I have some of the comments. Every 2 seconds, my phone is going off with someone hating on that video, that harmless video.
Oh my gosh.
So
I will set the record straight here. I did not intend on kicking the cymbal off of that. Mind you, it seemed like it was really loose. Like I just like touched it. Like it wasn't even like kind of cranked maybe. I don't know.
well, the funny thing is that is your symbol.
I was going to say that too.
And that is also your stand. So I take no blame for any of
Is it
that.
the stand? Is it my stand?
It's your
too?
stand, man.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways.
It's not the first time your symbol's been kicked off either.
No.
So it's becoming a thing.
Cue the tape, but I remember you knocked off my symbol in Canada, and that was actually hilarious.
But you gave that thing like a
an upper.
David
like,
Lee Roth,
Yeah.
like freaking
Yeah.
like.
Got caught up in the moment.
I think
Yeah, you got
blew
caught
off.
up.
I think blew off. I wanted to catch it and wear it as a hat, but I had to get back to the song.
Oh my
But
gosh.
let's go to some of the comments here. I'll just read a few, and you guys feel free to chime in. So we got. Let's start with some Instagram comments. So on this video, one guy says, "Our stooge says, oh man, if anyone in my band pulled this move, I would not be impressed. Gear is just too costly nowadays." Well, to that I have to say, Richie, that is your symbol, and that is his stand as well. So
Don't rub it in, Johnny.
he kicked his own gear.
I didn't even mean to. I just meant to just, gyrate in the air and jump off. And for whatever reason, like when I lifted my foot up, it clipped the end of the cymbal.
And that's it.
That's just me addressing anyone that's just hating on it right now.
All right. Okay, I've been getting a lot of comments saying when you don't know what spontaneous combustion means. My bad, okay? We got all these scientists coming in all of a sudden here telling me what it meant. I watched the documentary back in the day about spontaneous human combustion, and they just showed a picture of the human, and then the next it was like gone. So that's what I thought combustion was.
I got the joke. Like everyone, I don't know, the thing about the internet, just everyone online is just with no context, it just gets picked apart to every degree.
Yeah. All the scientists showed
Yeah,
up for the video. Anyways, there's a lot of... Any comments on spontaneous combustion? Do you know what combustion is?
Some sort of explosion, I would assume.
I thought it was an explosion, but apparently it's specifically lighting on fire, like something.
Spontaneous human
Okay,
combustion.
that makes sense.
Yeah. So my bad. Okay, my bad. There was no fire.
It's a joke. It's not literal.
No, they take it literally on the
It's
internet.
literal. It's all literal.
Anyways, moving along here. Not even funny. Typical guitarist. Absolutely no respect for an actual good instrument. Oh, some drummer love there. Some backhanded
Well,
guitar.
I mean, if you think a guitarist has no respect for an instrument, I'm a bassist, so I could care less about the situation.
I feel like when it comes to our gear, it just takes a beating. That's part of the show, I mean, we don't really take our instrument care. Not that we don't take it
it's
too
not that
seriously. It's just like it gets worn. If you play like 3-4 times a week like we do, it's just like things happen.
It's almost like when you see somebody that has their instrument and it looks too clean and perfect, you're like, okay, they're not rocking out on stage, where they're just like a bedroom musician or whatever. So when I see some chunks or somebody instrument looks like it's been set on fire,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, this dude's tearing it up.
Yeah.
And not to say that I think the people that comment on these things are like bedroom musicians. I think it's just...
I think a lot of them are.
But to address it, if you are, understand that, we've been doing these songs for a good amount of time, and we just want to try different things and have some fun genuinely on stage. And some of these videos, if you think about it in context, or out of context, can be just like, you think that I'm jumping up on my drummer's bass drum and freaking kicking his cymbal off. I get it then, you know what I mean? But it's truly not that at all. And things happen,
And the reality is 99% of the show is us is really trying hard to put on a great performance and nailing our parts. But then we're also trying to push the envelope. So you see these moments where we're doing this crazy stuff, and it's like, that's just us trying things out at these shows. And you get these it's fun for us at least. And then it's like, let's put it up there and see what people think of this thing. And you get mixed reactions.
They think it's a sideshow, and it is.
Slight sideshow.
I mean, do you remember that time where like, because you see, like I try to jump up and I try to like stand on the rim and whatever, keep my balance for a second.
Yeah.
You remember that time where like we were in like 420 bank and I completely missed?
Oh, you fell.
It just like toppled like
do.
all over you.
I
Like,
do.
you know, see, these are the risks. These are things that happen.
You
that,
gotta risk to
gotta
make
have some
something
fun.
memorable, and it's so true.
and everyone laughed in the audience at me. It was great.
And everyone laughed. And yeah, when you see the whole show, what our band does in context, it's like that one little moment is just like nothing. It's like a drop in the bucket.
A lot of people don't even see those things,
No.
but it's something that we all catch on, and we're dying laughing on stage. So
Yeah, we thought that was funny, but apparently, let's read a few more comments though. Because, let's see.
Let's take it home.
Oh, this guy was like, what I could have done is to stop the show and attack the guitar player.
Why do people got to get violent?
Richie, I know it's like what you said, Justin. It's like out of Step Brothers, you know, when they see the drum set, and he's like, "Yeah, don't touch this drum set." It's like that's such a it's in his bedroom. It's like a bedroom musician, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's like as soon as you got to take your gear on the road, it's getting nicked, it's getting tossed around, and you come
It's got to
terms-
get nicked. It's got to get
you
tossed
come
around.
to terms with that so quickly, and it's like you said. It's like I want to see when I see a guy on stage and he's got a guitar and it's all beat up. I'm just like, oh, that's seen some like road. You know?
you almost got to like purposefully put the first nick in on your own.
People
you know what I mean?
buy pre-worn guitars. There's a reason why this kind of happens. I agree.
Yeah, I'm almost more nervous when I get a brand new instrument. It's got nothing on it. You want that first thing to happen because then you're like, okay, I can breathe a little bit.
You got to nick it on purpose.
Exactly.
Yeah. Put a scratch in it.
That's what I mean.
All right. Okay. Let's see. Oh, just a couple more here. Yeah, a dude would be getting tackled over the drum set if he jumped on it. Okay.
It's all. You're just reading threats now.
Yeah, they're all a lot of threats.
He wants to kill me.
A lot of threats to you, Richie. Although I feel like Richie can handle himself. Okay,
I
this
don't
guy's
know.
going
I
into.
don't know.
This guy might be going into an arm wrestling competition. He'll rip your arm off like a Wookiee.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, my guitarist would never jump on my bass drum like that because he wants to live.
Oh my gosh, man.
Next tune, I'm jumping on your guitar.
Bring it.
I hope you're a contract drummer because if you're in a band with this guy, I can't imagine how you possibly could work with him.
Oh my god.
I mean, that's a can of worms. That's a different kind of conversation.
Over reply to that. Say, hey, you know,
Wait a minute.
Stop digging deep. Stop opening moons.
Let me see if there's a couple. Why do drummers not top their cymbals? Like there's a whole ass part of the stand that stops that grom
You
happening.
get the gearheads.
I mean,
You know what?
Johnny, I'm going to hand the mic to you on this one.
We always top off the cymbals, but what happened was the top of it was left in the bottom of the case that day, and I'm like, who cares? Like 99% of the time, nothing's happening to the cymbals. Who cares? Who cares? Like actually, who cares?
No, but like as long as you
it would have
have
still toppled. It would have got cut, and it probably would have like mangled my drum paint.
It could have.
Episode 1, Slight Vendetta.
Yeah, coming after all you guys. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. No, honestly, it's a lot of threats to you, Richie.
I know.
Yeah.
From what I've read, I haven't looked at it in a bit.
I got a couple of people thinking I look like people. I know I tell you I get always the Johnny Sins comment. I got a lot of those. Everyone's like I look like Johnny Sins. I don't have the blue eyes, but there's something. Someone said Jimmy Somerville. Do you know who that is? I don't know who that is.
I don't
No,
Jimmy
no, no.
Somerville.
We'll have to cue the tape. And there was a couple things. Someone was like, I look like Toby Maguire.
Tobey Maguire.
And you know what? I used to get that when I had hair, but I don't know. You think so? Or
No, not Tobey Maguire.
no Toby? Yeah, this guy's like, you look like bald Toby Maguire. There was another one. To be honest, you remind me of Toby Maguire. I don't know why. And someone's like, I know, right?
Interesting.
So a couple.
They got an imagination. That's all right.
That's it. Yeah, and then there was a final one. Bro is not playing mathcore or deathcore. This level of stage presence is not warranted for whatever that was. Okay, and this is gonna segue into just what we were talking about is why we kind of do this this thing. What would you kind of say, not to the haters, but just to people who don't really know much about our band and what our show is about? Like, just how would you?
I would just tell these people to come out to a show because they're going to see that so much of our show is choreographed. There's a lot of stuff that we come up within the moment, but these moments that they're seeing is us just pushing the limits, and we're always trying to bring the show to another level. And sometimes you have to go above and beyond to find something in that. And then it might be too much one show, but like, how can we take that moment and turn it into something new that's more appealing, but it's not too over the top. It's not complete circus act or whatever, but...
Yeah, and I think there's nothing wrong with posting bloopers. That's the thing. Everyone's like, oh, what do you guys do? I'm like, these are bloopers. We're having fun. Like, a lot of our moments do connect, and then the ones that don't, we just feel like most non-musicians would just like seeing a couple bloopers. I think it's as simple as that, you know?
Yeah.
But what do you think? What's your message, Richie?
Well, just getting, to get noticed online or something like that, but like funny moments are like funny moments, and people, like, that's how we relate to people, you know, right? And I feel like when you have posted a couple of bloopers and things that like left you kind of vulnerable, where you're dropping a stick or doing something, are the ones where you can actually get some people like kind of commenting and discussing something that, you know what I mean? Not just your friends just putting a laugh. It's just, and you got to kind of throw it out there a little bit. And I know you're mentioning you're kind of self-conscious because someone just said, now all our like reels are just like bloopers now or something like that. And then you turn around and just like, right here's Andy singing,
Wooly Bully.
And then Anthony Wiggle, shout out to Anthony Wiggle, commenting on it, saying some pretty nice words on it. You know what I mean? Like, so like, I don't know, it's a mix.
I think we can take something from these comments too, because it's true. Someone did comment, I don't want people to think we don't want people to think we're like a sideshow, because that's far from the truth. But I think it is nice, to sprinkle in some of the songs of us playing actual songs, because at the end of the day, we are a band, we're a tight band, and we've been doing it for so long. Like, we're so tight that it's like sometimes we're just bored.
I mean, there's that,
and we gotta just do stuff.
But at the same time, like I don't know, I go into some situations, especially now more than ever, just being like, we've been here for 2.5 years. This is your livelihood. This is your everything. What are you going to do every single time you step onto that stage? And what are you going to try to do to either push the limit or like just put it this way, when you're doing the same thing, and we've done this show so many times where like if we just kept doing the same thing, not only would we just get completely freaking bored out of it, anyone that would be a loyal fan would just keep seeing repetitive things or whatever it is. And you just got to like, it's that desire to just kind of stay on top of your game, and I think
where does that come from? Where does that desire come from for you guys? Like, why do you want to be like?
'Cause we got to live out here. we gotta get some shows going. We gotta sell tickets. There's a lot of pressure that and also get people to the shows, and that's the business you're in.
I think trying all these things out is also an element of trying to make the show fun for us, because if we just do the same show all the time, we're going to get caught up in that. We're going to start looking bored. And I think because we push the limits all the time, I have people coming up to me, and one of the most frequent things that they say is, you guys just look like you're having fun up there.
Yes.
And that's what it is. We could do the same thing every night, keep it simple, but we're like, let's just make this fun, because we're doing it for a living. We're lucky to be able to do it. How can we have fun with it as well?
Yeah, and like for me, I find like entertaining is higher than the musicianship. And I don't say that I'm putting the musicianship lower, but at the end of the day, I find if you're playing live in front of an audience, they want to be entertained. And there's maybe people out there who are like music aficionados who are just like, oh, it's all about the music, man. But to be honest, for most people, it's not. It's about the visual. It's about creating those moments. I think for us, we always talk about creating moments where people can whip out their phone and feel like they're getting something cool and they can show their friends. Like, it's all about that, in my opinion. And
oh yeah,
I feel like, but you got to make sure the music is sounding good.
I think that's got to be the given above all. Like, you can't be excuse me, like sitting there staring at your fretboard, playing these tunes. Like, that's just got to be the given. And then the show aspect has to come like right after that, whatever that is, And one thing I like that you're like saying as well is people like the fact that we genuinely are having fun on stage, and then I think that just adds to an element of the show, and everything else is just gravy on top when we've choreographed it and
for
sweat
sure.
it out.
And I must say, you guys are doing some pretty crazy moves. I'm just doing my old stick tricks, but you guys are like, this guy's straight up dying halfway through the set. You're just every show you're just stumbling even more, and it's starting sooner and sooner. It's like last show yesterday at Diamond Bar. It was just like, I just see you stumbling so early, and I just started dying laughing.
Part of me is like, because I know what's going on, and I'm like, can I go a little bit earlier every show?
I just see him like, I just like
start like I've been poisoned or something, and I start flailing around the stage.
I don't know if you guys can see it. I can see it.
How early is he starting?
Like,
Like
early,
right as
man.
soon as the other guy finishes his solo, I start getting this like dizzy look, and I'm like, oh,
He
it's
starts fainting.
coming to the end here.
It's like the boy who cried wolf. One day you're gonna actually be fainting and be like, "Oh, Justin's getting into that a little soon."
I gotta grab like my in-ear monitor case. I gotta flip it open. And
Yeah, we
Yeah,
need
I
a
know.
case.
I started going. Deep, deep, deep.
We need to get the things. We need to buy a pair.
Yeah.
The paddles.
Yeah.
Throw on the doctor coat and everything, and you come out. That's it.
See,
I
this,
like
is what
this.
this is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's like, why not do these ideas? Like, what?
Yeah.
Someone's gonna be like, "Oh, this is all a shtick." I'm like, "Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's so funny." And if you don't think it's funny, I think it's funny. That's
it.
hilarious. Anyways, this guy's dying mid set. Okay, we bring him back to life. That's one of the moments. Richie, I mean, we've been talking forever about like blading. You're doing the rollerblading now, the Richie Valens style. You've been doing the flag, the human flag pole. Like, what do you got cooking? What's your ultimate desire, Richie?
Well, I feel like I got to take a couple weeks off from us grinding in the morning from like 10 to like 4, whatever. I want to go to like the park, and I want to like practice a couple things.
Back to nature.
I gotta get back to. I gotta start cooking up some stuff. Justin and I were talking about trying to get together and get some more dance moves going on. It's just hard to put the time aside. Like there's just so much stuff going on, and
But I had a question. Okay, for example, I was looking through the footage yesterday, and you guys, like, in 20 Flight Rock, okay, you know at the very end, when I get to the top, I'm too tired to rock. You guys go back and then you do a little hop.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you guys
I
you
saw
guys don't
him-
rehearse that?
I saw him doing this for a while, and then he would step back and do this skip back. So I
Yeah.
just kind of caught on, and I'm like, I'll jump it because I feel like the more we're synchronized with things, it catches people's eye instead of people just doing random stuff. It's just like in Great Balls of Fire when we kind of do the lean to the one side and back. The more that a couple guys are synced up with stuff, people will see it from a distance.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I noticed that on the thing. I'm like, oh, even that's in sync, and that's something you guys didn't practice. And once again, that's just comes down to you playing.
Just blood, sweat, and tears on the stage there, Jay-Z.
A lot of tears.
Mostly tears.
But I thought that looked cool. But Richie, like I know you were, you even sent a little stage plot of this grand vision. What's your
I
grand?
love that drawing. Can
Oh
we
my
put that
God.
drawing up right now, please?
Cut to the drawing.
I saw it sitting on the kitchen table the other day, and I'm like, I love this.
Richie, explain the drawing.
I have a feeling that there's like a third party like ramp company, okay, and we just got to set up like one quarter pipe on one side, another quarter pipe on the other, get like a launch ramp with like usually like there's like the thing that you call a kicker where you can launch, and then there's like the middle part, and then the part you land down on. I'm just saying, take the middle part out. You're gonna put the drums right in the middle. I gotta fly over the drum set on the skates,
Yeah,
man.
and if you miss,
Refer to the image there.
I'm done. I'm done for.
There's no honesty. It's like safety tricks at this point.
That's okay.
It's
Should
like
I
no problem.
should I be worried?
No, you shouldn't be worried. You shouldn't be worried. But this is what's like fun about this band is just like if we can think about dumb things and also try to embellish everyone's talents or fun
Yeah.
stuff. That'd be awesome.
If you can dream it and you can fund it
mostly if you can fund it,
and you can fit it in our trailer, it might happen. It might happen.
we'll see.
Okay. Well, in talking about artists, this is another thing. I think I'm kind of leaning into a lot of the comments, the negative comments on YouTube, just because I think we feel whenever we see these comments, the first thing we say is always like, they don't get it. That's always the thing. Someone will comment, oh, he shouldn't be standing on your kick or something. We're just like, they don't get it. And like from my perspective, I feel like the artists back in the day, we do 50s, 60s music. Like, you look at even a guy like Ronnie Hawkins, who we used to know. That guy was doing the moonwalk. He was doing moves. James Brown doing the splits. Like Sha-Na Na, a big influence of mine. They were just straight up wearing like spandex and hopping around. It's like, how can you not do stuff like that and call yourself like a retro inspired band? I feel like that is part of the package. Like, what do you think? Who are some of the bands and people that were doing that? I mean, there's so many showmen out there doing moves like that. Is there anyone who inspired you guys?
And what? And you mean like them getting like flack for it or something? Like,
No,
what
I
do you-
mean like when I think of that music, I think of showmanship like that.
course, yeah,
people
yeah.
like that, like Ronnie Hawk, like James Brown is a huge one.
Yeah.
you know.
No, I just think that little bit of like there are the moves, you know what I mean? Like there's MJ's emulated, James Brown is emulated, shout out to the Hawkins family, Ronnie, doing the innovative, camel walk, which is pretty much like, I don't know, looks cooler than a moonwalk.
He was doing
in my opinion.
somersaults.
Doing
Didn't they say
backflips.
backflip?
This is the kind of stuff that like like the lore gets created, you know. But I don't know.
Anyone who inspired you? Like I know even in recent times, even in the grunge era, we had like Eddie Vedder. He used to be climbing up on stuff. Like, is there anyone who stands out in terms of performance, like live performance? Someone who's really like resonated with you? Maybe in recent times.
I like James Brown.
James Brown.
James Brown.
Definitely
Yeah,
James Brown.
yeah. James Brown is sick.
I mean, he had that whole moment we were talking about doing where he would just get all like demoralized and wrap the cloak around
man,
him,
that
and
was
then he'd bust
nice.
out.
Well,
Like
just-
that's like
It's-
comical. That's nuts.
It's crazy because like there's so many. There's to me when I'm analyzing like stage presences, I feel like there's like just different types, effortless and full of effort. Thank you. I'd say like James Brown is like almost like full of effort. He's sweating his butt off. He's doing these crazy ass like jazz splits, and then you see like someone like Prince that just like he doesn't even do anything. He's just like does like a look and like just like turns his body or something, you know, with the guitar, puts his hand up or something. Like everyone goes nuts. It's like different things, and you know what I mean? Why did Elvis get such a reaction with like his like, you know, with his moves? Like, you know, compare that to like James Brown. It's like James Brown is like working hard. You know what I mean?
Well,
he's working hard up there.
I
you
mean,
know what
James Brown doing that is equivalent to Justin dying.
I was going to say that whole thing kind of even came a little bit from that whole Kurt Cobain thing. If you've ever seen that before, where he comes out on stage and he, like the beginning of the show, he's basically like, they wheel him out. And so I was like,
Justin, man,
I love that.
I have the best idea. We gotta, man, when Justin dies, we gotta cover him
with a blanket.
like a black blanket, and then he's gotta like rise. He's gotta come back to life.
Put the chalk around him?
Yeah,
or-
put the chalk around him.
Oh god, yeah. Start marking the stages.
Oh my gosh, man.
But I feel like these old. Oh my god, it's so funny.
So it stops. The priest starts like talking, or like,
Yeah, you got
He's gone.
You
Do a sermon?
You gotta get the-
the eulogy.
You got to get the doctor's coat on with the paddles, and Andy puts on the priest collar, and he comes over. He's reading out of the Bible while you're bringing me back to life. It's a
Beatles
whole
Bible.
scene.
We could do it, man. I'm down.
Oh
I'm down.
my gosh,
But
we
it's
gotta
like,
we gotta get dumb.
But it's like when you look to these old groups, especially prime example. A couple months, this wasn't with you, Justin, but we opened for Peaches and Herb and Blue Magic. And Blue Magic, it's like they're a vocal group from back in the day. And everything, like you watch their movies, everything they do is a like movement.
Yes, yeah.
And it's all synchronized.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think people forget that was a thing with like bands and vocal groups, more so vocal groups.
Sure.
But
Like think about Michael Jackson. Like if I ever watch his concerts and see like the amount of stuff detail that's going into that show, I'm like, how could we ever get to that level? I'm like, that's an insane amount of choreography.
It would take a lot of creativity, a lot of time to invest in just the show at every aspect and every second and what you're trying to achieve. He took a lot of influences from a lot of like, you know, cool dancers and was pretty innovative. But on top of it, he just had like some badass songs. So I don't think
Because I was thinking about what song is it where they did the thing? Was it Smooth Criminal where they do the lean and he's got the foot pegs on the stage? I was thinking for Great Balls. I was like, what if we put those foot pegs in there and we all did the lean to the side, but with the pegs? So it's not like we're not putting our foot out. It's just got that crazy,
guys
like,
are all
how
just
is that
like-
happening?
like
yeah,
that?
it would be
Oh,
so
man.
cool. I've
It
been
would-
thinking about that lately.
it would be cool.
No, we gotta do the side, the Gangnam Style, just all crouch, just pop out of the stage.
Yeah, we'll get to all of that in a few
Budgets.
minutes. Now, a couple more things. We don't have to get too nuts here, but I wanted to know, before the show, getting in the zone, that is a thing I think that really translates to how the show goes, at least on our end. I know recently, I was really feeling like if everyone's all around doing their thing before the show and we come together right before showtime, I find we're never like mentally in sync. But when we get together, been trying to do like at least 15, 20 minutes before. It's like we get to joke around, we get to do a little vocal warm-up and, have some fun. I think that's important before a show.
Definitely the prayer circle about 15 minutes before the show where we kind of all just get there in the zone. And you see, we just get on a vibe all together where we're joking around, we're getting our heads into the show, and then you just start off the show on a high note.
Yeah.
And I think the more that we do that, the better these shows are going to go.
It's true.
For sure. What's your kind of threshold? My threshold, I don't like eating before the set. I hate when, when someone's like, oh, your meal's ready, and it's like 15 minutes to go, and then you're dealing with
close.
that. What's kind of your threshold for eating before a show? Do you have a go-to? Justin, you can kick that off, then Chris.
I mean, I don't like to eat anywhere within the hour up to the show, usually about an hour and a half, because that leads to a 45-minute marker we don't need to discuss. And then if we get closer to the show, I want to be kind of like be dressed backstage 30 to 45 minutes before the show, where I don't have to go out there and do anything, because the more I'm running around, then it feels like I'm just scrambling up on a stage, where I want to be back there, be warmed up, and just heads in the show.
Sure.
Yeah, when you're scrambling and then getting up on stage, it's just like, oh, you gotta like get your bearings for like the first few songs. It's not like not the best, but definitely I'm always into doing the powwow before we go up on stage. It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
And I love seeing bands like running onto the stage. Like, you're not going up there, you're not fidgeting. It's like everybody's up there. Where's this guy? It's like everybody comes out like a powerhouse, and the show just starts the moment you get up there. It's like we don't have to do anything, which I know we got a few
we got
perks
some
to work out, but we can get to that in the next
I
little
feel like
while.
they're always just like, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Dreamboats, and we all run up there and it's like amps. Hello, everyone. I'm plugging.
This guy's breaking my balls.
I know. I'm not one to die.
Taking out the in-ear monitor.
I'm putting my phone on a stand.
Plugging
I
it
know.
in, taking the stand out, standing in front, getting that angle.
I'm putting my phone on. I'm like, hey, everyone, is putting that in, rolling up with like, yeah, I know. We got some work to do. But
That'd be a nice goal by the end of this year for sure, where we're just going up there into the show.
we need more of a crew for that, though. But we need a bit of a crew. So
Now hiring
for
experience.
we pay you in per diem. Yeah, but
Free meal vouchers.
okay, so yeah, pre-show though, yeah, I think it's pretty important to get into the zone. I hate showing up where the sound check, it might take a long time, then we're up in half an hour. It's like you don't like getting in stress. I think it's so important to be backstage and, like you said, have that half hour before the show, at least half hour where you're dressed. We wear the uniforms, you're dressed, and you just can chill and just vibe out with the band. Because then it's like, I find the ones where you're jumping right into it, it's like I don't even look at you guys sometimes. I'm so like, just like you said, it's like you're just jumping into a pool and getting your bearings. But when you have that time before the show where you can just get on the same wavelength, then it's like you're joking around with each other during the show. It just really changes the dynamic. You're cracking some inside jokes that no one gets about Smokey Robinson's albums.
Always a good time.
Wrapping up here shortly, but just final thing we talked about before the show, after the show. I don't know, like Richie, I know you're big on schmoozing after the show. How important do you feel talking to people after the show is? And what value? What do you get out of that?
It depends.
What do they get out of it?
Yeah, I mean, like you want to tend to all people that are like want your attention as much as possible and whatnot, but definitely always trying to maintain somewhat of a rapport with the organizer or the person who hired you, figuring out what they liked about it, what they didn't, and then hoping you get hired again.
But I mean, even I was talking about more like right after the show itself. Like, I feel like me personally, I like connecting with people. Like, if they dig the music that we do.
Yeah. As far as like
I want to meet though.
It's like just half the battle is just getting the merch booth even set up, and that's like the excuse. But for the most part, when there's not even a merch booth, I'm always going out there and just anyone that wants to just say hi or whatnot and be available. It's just part of the show, part of the shtick. Yeah.
Justin, what's your take on post-show stuff? Do you need to unwind or
I usually need like a couple minutes, and I think it's important to go out there and meet people and chat with everybody, but I also like when bands finish and they kind of disappear for a moment, because I think it shows that I go to and artists that I like, the same way that they explode onto the stage, when the show's over, they're gone. And it's just like the dust settles. And I don't particularly like it when you see certain people, like the show's over and they're kind of still hanging around, because it gives this feeling like, is it really over? Like, people might be waiting for something else to happen. Whereas when it ends and everybody's gone and people are still waiting for that thing and they don't come out, it's like they get that feeling like, okay, it's over.
Yeah.
And then the people that want to stick around and come say hi and everything will come back out in a few minutes, gather ourselves together, kind of come down a little bit from the excitement, and also for us to get backstage and reminisce for a moment and
take a second. Yeah.
No, the breather after that's like we're just give your your all. I'm usually sweating my butt off. Like you just kind of need to like unwind, put the change of shirt on, or relax or something.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
That. It's like,
high school cologne.
Yeah, you gotta get proper.
Nice. Well, yeah, I like chatting with the fans after. Especially, I like when the younger fans. I mean, younger meaning people like around our age, but people who kind of grew up like us. If they're out there, I just love connecting with them. I'm always like, do you know the songs? And they do, and that's cool. I feel like we need to put that time in to connect with them after the shows. But
and it's great to see people that are coming back out to shows in different cities. Like we were just playing the Yamava Casino about a week or two ago, and we had some people that came out that were at like one of our first shows where we were busking out front in front of Starbucks in Palm Springs. In between pretty big gigs we were playing, we were going out there to bus just to try and get by, and some people just happened to see us the first time, and here we are 2.5 years later, and they were at a show. So,
and that's a good point.
You don't want to miss those opportunities.
Can't get rid of you guys.
And to say thank you to those people for continuing to come out and getting to hear their feedback on what they think's going on with the show.
And that was actually really cool, that couple, because not many people saw us during those early days when we first moved down here. We were busking, and those people saw us then, and then kind of saw us now at the casino. And it's cool to see. And it also reminded me, like, I can't believe we were busking in those days. Like, we were like, we got to do this. We came down here with like 4 gigs.
We did pretty well too. That was a fun day.
We did. We didn't get the water poured on us on that gig.
I wish we like bust down like Venice Beach or like kind of like LA area. That would have been nice at the time, and just get some experience to see where that would have went.
We can get to that in a minute.
We can get to that in a few moments, but
see what happened.
Anyways, I think we can kind of wrap it up here. We got the California State Fair next Tuesday, July 23rd. That's going to be a good one. Our first time in Sacramento. You guys pumped for that or what?
Nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's going to be good. It's going to be ambitious. Driving 8 hours. We're doing 3 sets, old school Dreamboat style, but that's going to be fun. California State Fair, July 23rd. July 24th, the very next day, West Covina. We're going to be rolling on fumes. You heard it earlier in the episode.
A-Rock and I got it. The midnight drive will be all right.
Midnight drive. So that's gonna be a fun one. Then we got Covina. We did West Covina on the 24th. We got Covina on the 29th. That's gonna be another fun city festival. We got Glendale on July 31st, and then August 1st we're back at Tio Leo's. We got August 2nd, City of Cypress. That's another great summer concert series. August 4th, City of Glendora summer concert series. August 7th, Temple City concert series. That's going to be great. And then August 14th, we are playing the Cascade Lounge back in Palm Springs, one of our favorite venues. I'm pumped for that.
Shout out to Adam Levy.
Adam Levy, Cascade Lounge, and Carousel. We're really looking forward to it. And we're going to be doing some new songs that night. I know, Justin, you're going to be doing a couple new songs.
Yep. Some new songs, and I think we're going to try to work out some new antics before then as well.
And maybe some new uniforms. We'll see. We'll see where the demons are
See what's in the budget.
And we also have August 31st. We're doing Saiquan. Is that how you say Saiquan?
Saiquan Casino, yeah.
Casino. We're opening up for Marcelito Pomoy. That'll be cool.
Yes, we are.
Dreamboat's rare opening slot. We're really excited for that. So that's some of our upcoming shows. That's that. Season 2, Episode 1. A-Rock, thanks for working the board. We appreciate it. And we'll see you guys soon. All right.
Later, guys.
Peace.
And that's that.